Karen Curry Parker here with your weekly Human Design Evolution Report. There are a bunch of different kinds of nuances to this week's energies that I want to talk about. So I really want you to tune in and think about how some of these energies might be impacting your life personally, because you're either going to have a lot of extra energy this week or you're going to need to take a break this week. And part of knowing which way to go with that energy is tuning in to yourself and being connected to where are you at with your energy, with your enthusiasm, with your ability to kind of push out, or are you needing to take some time to take a breath, to breathe in? The other thing is this week, as we move through the energies that I'm going to share with you this week, I also want you to think about where are you at with your relationship this week, because there's certainly a lot of really nice relationship energy this week, but also, again, a couple places where we got to be super mindful about how we relate to each other this week. So we have the gate 37, inner peace in the sun. We've got the 40, which is aloneness in the earth. But this entire channel defines the will center and the emotional solar plexus. And this channel that gets defined through the planets this week is all about agreements, about rules and regulations that we make about how we bind together in contracts. This is where we have the energy for marriage as a contract. This is a place where we make bargains with each other. So in terms of our interpersonal relationships, this is a great week to change the nature of your commitments, to deepen maybe the agreements that you make in your relationship. Certainly a great energy this week to sit down with the people in your life and make sure you're being super clear about what your agreements are in the context of your relationships and have those conversations. I can't tell you how many times when I see this energy in people's charts or in relationships, how many times I have to help people understand that when you talk about the agreements instead of silently making agreements in your head makes a huge difference in terms of the nature of the relationship and the ability that you have in the context of your partnership to really take good care of each other and take good care of your relationship. So have those conversations this week. Revisit the agreements that you've made in your relationships. And if you're wanting to take your relationship to a deeper level, make a deeper commitment or make a new kind of a contract with your relationship, perfect week to do it. Great week for wedding proposals or any kind of proposal that takes your relationship to the next level. This is also a channel that's part of the mystical circuit in human design. So it's an energy that is about finding that still place so that the commitments that you make are grounded in that centered, quiet, peaceful place, so that whatever you're doing or whatever you're saying leads to a sustainable kind of agreement or a sustainable kind of a creation. This is a place in the chart where we do connect to something higher and bigger than ourselves individually. So this is a really great time to get quiet, take some stillness, tune into yourself, and make sure that the commitments that you are making, the agreements that you're making, are really sustainable and are for the greater good of not only yourself, but also for the greater good of the whole. So it's a really beautiful energy in that respect as well. Here's where it gets kind of interesting, or even more interesting, I should add. This is also an energy that's going to give us the potential for emotional responses to relationship issues. It's also an energy that's going to give us a little extra kick of willpower. So certainly this week, we've been talking about being in this active phase of our creative cycle. And certainly there's a potential here for a lot of activity that's about you going out into the world and making the connections and making the agreements and signing the contracts. And that's a really cool part of it. But this is that place where I told you got to tune into yourself too. Whenever we get willpower defined by the transits, it also is the energy of resting. The energy of the willpower, which is the little triangle that's just to the south of the diamond on the chart. That willpower energy is about working to rest. And when we've got inner peace in the sun, sometimes you need to stop what you're doing and take a break and rest. And I could go on for hours and hours and hours about the importance of rest. I would certainly say that 99.9% of my clients have a challenge with knowing how to rest. And frankly, 99.9% of my clients probably are where they're at right now in their life, particularly if things are not working, because they haven't paced themselves, because they haven't taken consistent cycles of rest and repose as part of their creative process, especially here in the West, especially here in America. We have so much around doing and doing and doing and doing and doing that we don't give ourselves permission to rest until we've got everything else handled, which is really kind of counterintuitive. What you'll find is that the more you nurture yourself, the more you take care of yourself, the more you take those breaks, the more energy you've got available for creativity, for production, for doing, for pushing if you need to. But when those reserves, and there's a lot of energy in the Will Center, especially in this channel that comes in this week, that's all about having the reserves to endure, the reserves to push, the reserves that you need to be able to do whatever you have to do to uphold your agreements, your contracts. Let's face it, if you're married or if you've ever been in that situation with those kinds of relationships, it takes endurance sometimes to push through the hard times, to push through the conflict, to push through and rearrange the agreements. That's the energy that we've got coming up for this week. You've either got the endurance because you've been taking care of it, you've been growing it, you've been nurturing it, you've been taking a rest, or you're going to hit a wall. And you're going to hit a wall because you're not going to have those reserves. So don't make any rash decisions this week if you hit that wall, but instead give yourself permission to rest. And when I say rest, I'm not saying go read a bunch of personal growth and development books. I'm not saying go do your taxes while you sit on the couch and watch TV. I'm saying turn the brain off, rest the body, reconnect with your spirit, and reconnect with whatever you need to do to connect with that place of inner peace, because that's crucial for us this week. Because as we as we cultivate this resource of rest, you're going to end up at the end of this cycle coming out on the other side of it restored, renewed, ready to go, with the energy to endure whatever comes next, and with the energy to push to create whatever you want to create next. Married with that, again, cautionary note, we do have some revolutionary energy coming up in Mercury, which means there is a lot of possibility if you're not waiting for clarity, if you're reacting to your being tired, you could be burning bridges if you're not careful in your relationships. So you could also be revolutionizing your relationships and revolutionizing your conversations. So again, a lot of potential to take things in a brand new, more evolved, more sustainable direction. But it's all about, where are you at with your inner peace? Where are you at with your harmony? Where are you at with your mindset? Where are you at with a rhythm that's going to support your consistent cycles of renewal? Are you taking care of yourself? And if you are, then the revolutions you create are going to take you to a new level of sustainability. If you haven't been taking care of yourself, do it. And don't make any excuses for not doing it. Just do it. You will be shocked and surprised to see what a day off can do for your energy and your creativity. All right, one other little thing just to add in here, because we haven't talked about this in a while. The outer planets are really pushing on our mindsets. It's so easy this year. I can't stress this enough. So easy this year to get lost in stinking thinking, all right? Do not get lost in how your dreams are going to come true. Make sure you're tending to your mindset. Stay in gratitude. Stay in inner peace. Stay in harmony. Stay connected to source and stay connected to each other. Lift each other up and make a commitment to yourself that you're going to serve as a beacon of light for the people in your life, and really structure your life so that you have a support network. And certainly if you don't have one yet, this is a week to start setting intentions around creating a network of like-minded brothers and sisters and family who will support you and lift you up in the fulfillment of your dream. You deserve that. So rest if you need to, push if you need to, make new contracts, talk about your agreements, make sure that all the agreements you're making are not assumptions, you're making them out loud or even writing them down, and have a fabulous, fabulous week.